Hello everybody, this is Vicki Ross, and I'm filling up a water brush. Let's see, I have a pipette. That's Margie or Miss Ross? Ta-da! This is a live performance, so I'm just going to fiddle around here until a few folks come in. I'm a little bit early. That's why I always say 3:30-ish. Okay, I got that going. Put that away. I talk to myself like this when I'm not filming too. Feel free to fast forward anytime you want to. Let's see if I can get these tags off. I hate tags that leave part of the sticky behind. Well, that was easier than some are. It's about as exciting as watching paint dry, huh? For the past 3 days, I've been working on my little so-and-so sewing machine because I want to use it on my craft table so I can just pick it up and use it. And that assumes that I can get the craft table cleaned up enough to do that with. So it's all apart. We found out yesterday that I had somehow bent the shaft. I don't know how, but the shaft was bent. Let's just put it that way. And that was keeping the needle from going into the exact right position. But I felt really kind of empowered after I took the machine apart. Of course, it's all of this big. As I sit here patiently, and you know I'm not that patient. I may have some people on idiot. I told y'all last week I got this 18 by 24, 20 by 24. What is it? $18 by 24 mat, and I really am going to love it. I may have to put the white side up. It's reversible. This is the Arteza mixed media notebook that I've been using and did my Inktober in. And then some watercolor experiments and some wax resist experiments. And so I see no reason why we just can't continue. Getting ready. This is Himi. Himi gouache. And I took my watch off so I can't see the time. 3:30. A few more minutes. All right, I am going to start. I decided at Black Friday, I didn't decide, I was spending a lot of time shopping, looking for deals. And I did one of these because everybody else had one. But I didn't really, need wasn't an issue, but I loved the palette because it's airtight. So I thought, okay, I found it in Warehouse. And it was like $18 instead of $26 or $27, something like that. But when I got it, move this one out of the way. When I got it, I don't know if it froze in transit or what, but I've got hard pieces of gouache there. And you can see where they kind of melted on this. Now this is a little palette that comes out. So you can use the lid too if you need it. So what we're going to do today is explore. Oh, here's the other thing. Since the paints are unusable and they couldn't sell them again, they just said keep it, don't send it back. And then they sent me a different one. Everything's perfect. I suspect weather got it, but because if it froze and these all came out. So I've been saving that for you guys. So now I've got two of these, and if not every one of them exploded. Let me get rid of this. Now I've heard people say they just open their crates, their jelly tubs, and that's why these are called jelly gouache, because they're in a jelly container. I don't want mine to dry out. I like to have it wet. You can get better coverage that way. But even if these are dried out, I don't know if I'll leave that on there or not. Do I want to leave it on there? No, I don't want to leave it on there because I won't be able to see what the colors are. Decision made. And I don't think I'm going to do that either because it's just going to make a mess. Anyhow, you make quick decisions. And I shouldn't worry with that either because, why? It's going to get messy anyway. Okay, so now there's one that was exploded. I ought to have my apron on. Okay. Wet wipe. I took my watch off so I wouldn't get my new band all icky. And apron. What's the fun of trying to stay neat in your own studio? All right. I say that all the time. I am sorry. These wells are separated. So we're just going to open these up. And we'll use this set because they really couldn't have sold it. Nobody would have accepted that. I had a square-sided, square-holed palette once that I was trying to see if I could use it for oil. You never get all the paint out of the cracks. This is a beautiful design. That one's kind of thick. And some people, it depends on what you're going to use it for. Now this one's getting thick, but I can put water in. Some people like it that way, and it's just totally a personal preference. No right or wrong. 2 whites. I could have left one of them closed, but I didn't. You do use white more than anything else. So, and then I thought, well, if I don't like the gouache, if I want to use it for something other than journaling or playing, I can always save the cup, right? And put my own in there. But I'm one of those who really doesn't want to squeeze all the paint out into a tub. That's why the Romax palette that everybody bought there for a while, it has something like 120 wells. I knew I didn't want one of those. Number one, it takes up real estate on your desk because it's huge and round. But your paint's always dry unless you add to it every time you paint. And I don't need that many choices all at once. That one's pretty thick. Come on, give me a corner. One more. 18 colors. And that includes 2 white. And that one's a little thick too. Okay. Good day to take the watch band off. Now then, we'll wipe that off, maybe. We'll get an old, clean baby wipe, one that just dried out, spray it with water. And that way, if they're not dirty, you can use them a couple times. See? Wiped it off, and it's all better now. Get rid of these so I don't stick my elbow in them. This is my old. Okay, that one's perfect. Just like it came out of a tube. That one's pretty much perfect. That one's a little bit thick. That one's runny. Pretty good. It's thickening around the edges. But I know some folks, I think Lindsay Wyrick did. That one's thick. She left the lid off hers for quite a few days to make it dry out. Good. Could use a little bit. Good. Good. Don't worry about those little imperfections or little crumbs. That one's great. That one's good. That one's thick. Hi, Deborah. I'm playing with some Himi. This is the gouache that was all the rage a year ago, and I wanted some because it's so cool. The packaging is awesome. That one's good. So I ordered this from Amazon Warehouse because it was cheaper. That one's way dried out. And several of the paints had leaked. And I suspect that they had frozen. There goes the watch. All right, we're good. I suspect they froze. And so I had the lids kind of had paint. There were a couple of them that had seeped out. So I bought that for, I don't know, $16, I think, in the warehouse, which I like to shop because a lot of times it's just things that people bought and returned. And they're guaranteed. So there's that. So anyway, when I got it, I was so disappointed. I told them that the paint had leaked, and they immediately sent me a brand new one. and everything was perfect in it. So since that happened and I didn't have to send this back, they just said don't send it back because we can't sell it like that. So anyway, I was just going to check and see which of these were thicker than others so I could reconstitute them. And that's where I am. You been doing all right? You can put that away. Like that I got paint all over my. You know what? We're going to see. I've got my water up here. I now have a mixed media brush or a synthetic watercolor brush that work fine. And that was not dry, Vicki. Gouache is a watercolor type paint, water-based. That one's not quite dry either. Okay, so we're just going to leave that for a minute. And the reason it's opaque is because the pigment particles are ground bigger. And by being ground bigger, when the light hits through that paint, it hits those bigger pieces and bounces back to you. Where with watercolor, they're ground much finer. So the light has more of a chance to get through and then bounce back from the paper. And so that mainly is the difference in gouache and watercolor. Now, if you water this down or thin it down, you're going to just about, I mean, you can use them together. Gouache is designed to be used, well, not everybody does it that way, but it was designed to be used opaquely. And if you want that, you need to put don't you love how neat my sketchbooks are? The reason I'm doing this is because when I paint over it, I'll be able to kind of have an idea which ones are opaque or not. Try not to take your ballpoint pens across wet paint because they really don't like it on the tip. All right. The other thing about gouache is it dries flat, meaning and in the early days, the days of illustrators, that was a virtue because they could do their artwork and then it could be photographed without glare coming off the paint. So that is what gouache, what it was really used for in the 30s, 40s, 50s, you know, the Norman Rockwell era. So there's the reds. I'm going to come back and do yellows. And y'all know that I like a split complementary palette with just about everything I paint because I've learned how to mix almost any color I want. I don't think my black was totally dry. Mix any color I want with 6 colors. Let's see. I'm going to do this one because that's really more of a yellow, more of a cad yellow. deep. And that looks like another red. It's purple. I guess I'll go ahead and usually I put yellow ochres toward the end because they're more of an earth color rather than a yellow. Trying to keep my brush just barely damp. Got that one, got that one. Purple. I don't know when they started calling these jelly gouache. And I know that it's because they're in the jelly cup, but everybody thinks there's something different with them. I don't think there is. I don't want to do dark blue. I'm going to put water in that one, if I didn't already. Well, what did I do? Oh, yeah, that one. They're so much easier than filming and having to do voiceover and I work with Final Cut Pro. And I don't like doing it that way. So there's blue. Let's see what this one is. Man, these are rich colors. I'm not going to use the phrase highly pigmented. And then I know that's blue from, that's almost an indigo. Pretty color though. And the first few, I have to admit, were unnerving. These two are really close together. And supposedly you can tell the quality of your gouache by how opaque it is, because a lot of gouache people manufacturers use lighteners to, like chalk, calcium, to lighten their colors or extend their colors. And you can tell it in the opacity because that brightens it up. These are not, I'm not finding any. These are brown, probably looks like a raw umber. I never had used raw umber in my palette until I did my class and was using a set from Williamsburg that was, it was a split complementary with with raw sienna and raw umber, I do believe. So there we have it. I'm going to draw that. Yellows are almost never opaque. You can see a little bit of line through that. That could be operator, could be artist. You know what I mean? Operator error. Now I've got my gouache down here from Arteza, and there are 60 colors here. I swatched them out like that. So let's see if we can find a rose. I knew I was going to have to do that. There it is, rose. Rose, rose, rose. Now we got to find rose. There it is. I smell something either cooking or burning. Now I just had that brush. Here it is. Put the black mark down first. Well, good. I'm glad you're painting along with me. Okay, my brush is barely damp. I'm just going to stick it right down in the hole. And make sure I get enough paint to. Next one would be crimson or scarlet, vermilion. Let's do vermilion. That's scarlet. Roses. This is a fantastic color line. There's so many to pick from. And sometimes you're working on a project where you just don't want to mix color. Okay, so I missed the red. There it is. Now let that sit in the water, which you don't really want to do. Okay. Put that back. There is vermilion. The next is a real dark. It might be a lizard. crimson. Let's see. And that's burnt sienna, so that is going to paint out brown. I guess crimson is the closest I've got to that. Scarlet. All right now. Make sure you're not just looking over it. I don't think light apricot goes there, but we're just going to leave it. Okay, so it's got to be this tray. Burnt sienna is not a red. Crimson. That's why I didn't pick it. Hey, Joycey. I'm testing my new Himi paints. They're new to me. They're not new to everybody else. And this side, I'm doing similar colors in gouache. Now, I want to know, that's why I didn't close this up. 1, 2, 3. Rose, that, it's got to be that. I want to see. Yeah, that's it. I want to see how they blend out with water. They're both bluish reds. I had too much water in that one. Which means they're cool. And if you know that going in, you won't mix muddy colors quite so often. Okay, I'm just going to come up to the bottom of that and let it kiss. We're here. It's not going to move a whole lot because it is gouache. This is thinning out to be a little more on the purple side. I would say that the Arteza is closest to alizarin crimson. A lot of people use scarlet, which is what this is. Carmine is the one that I didn't see. Carmine is another one that's used in, because for a long time, alizarin crimson was fugitive. Okay, so where are we now? Yellow, and now we need a lemon yellow. Lemon. It's my French accent. Lemon yellow. Lemon yellow. It's probably real close. Let's see if there's anything else. Yeah, lemon is it. So this is your cool yellow. And applied thickly enough, it's about the same as that. See, this is more of a rose here. They're both cool. This is a warm red, and this is your cool red. Warm tends a little bit toward orange, and red tends a little bit toward blue. And that's how you tell that apart. Okay, now we need orange. Saffron, maybe. Remember saffron being funny color on the tube. Saffron. Need yellow. Well, doggone it. Naples yellow. I love Naples yellow. And I know you're in here hiding to be something else, so yanny. We know I haven't, so there it is, saffron orange. Pretty close. Too much water. Now, I'm saying too much water to mean it ruins the opacity. Nothing is too much if you want to do it that way. Depends on what you want to do. Sure is nice to have color swatches, though. Okay, now we go to that, and I didn't know what that was. Burnt sienna. I'm not going to turn the pot upside down, I promise. Nope, not on the pot. Let's go with burnt sienna. Arteza has more convenience colors. And what that means is that their mixes, burnt sienna, mixes of two pigments. Let's see, burnt sienna may not be. And they don't put the pigment color on the tube. Yeah, they do. A107. So that's a regular straight color. If you pick up one of these, it says A123, but I guarantee you it's got white in it. So when you mix like a yellow and a blue, and make a green. That's a convenience color. And they are real handy to have. Now. Looking for yellow ochre. Yeah, I could have had these out before, but I didn't. Because I didn't really know I was going to do this. I just had them out in case I had a wild hair. Yellow ochre. It's kind of yellow. Throw the brush off on my apron. Yellow ochre and purple. About what they're calling lilac. So the colors are very similar. And I think they're probably close as well in quality. The Arteza seems to be a little more vibrant and a little bit more opaque. I don't know, it just seems that they're richer. Okay, now blue. The blue. It's the darkest cerulean I've ever seen, but I will do it. You can always tell a convenience color because it'll be named sky blue or something like that, where your pigment colors are named cadmium yellow or yellow ochre. I don't want to lose you to the gods down below. Cerulean. I'm about to get my Patreon account set back up because it would be nice to have some support to keep doing these free videos. Anyone who's listening out there, I need your support as well for subscribing, and that's free. Doesn't cost anything. And that looks like ultramarine. There's still a contest going on until I hit 2,000 subscribers. There's lots of gifts, or several gifts, including an original painting. And you get to that, you get more points, more entries, the more you share. And we've had quite a few people play so far. Okay, now we're going to have to hunt for ultramarine. So, anyway, those of you who are new to my channel, thank you very much. And for those of you who are already here, thanks very much. Ultramarine. The new program Field Notes Journal will be starting soon. Now you use gouache thicker than you do watercolor, but not so thick that you can feel it or it stands on the page, because it will crack in certain circumstances, like if you had it on a raw canvas. Okay, so now we go to raw umber. I have a burnt umber. We'll use that. And it's going, if you want to start getting your stuff together before I announce it, it's some kind of a journal. I'm using a Midori journal where you can take the pages in and out of the elastic and make it look rustic, make it look old. And get it decorated if you want to do that. I'm using a cover that I had from quite a while ago, but that's not Bordeaux. There it is. That I had done on craft text paper, that paper that you put in the washing machine and it never changes. It's supposed to make it look like leather. I think the Artezas are creamier. Again, that can be operator error. Okay, now we have kind of an emerald green. Look at your chart. Look at your chart. Their sap green is a little more yellow. Pale green is a little too yellow. Well, that may be the best we've got. Viridian, definitely. So let's look for Viridian. Viridian. Viridian is a cool green because it's got a lot of blue in it. Seaweed. It's very, very strong. Strong color. Usually made with phthalo. Okay, where are you hiding? Can't be any of those. Never say can't. And it's not there. That's weird. So it's not. It's not. It's not. Okay. Lime, yellow ochre, lemon yellow. These are more yellows than greens. Gold and mid yellow. See, mid yellow would be a convenience color, a mix. And that's good to know in case you check the blues. In case you need to mix a color with that one. See, it's helpful to know what's in them when you're mixing, because it's a it's a warm, cool thing. All right. Olive green, seaweed, sap, viridian. I went right over it. But for this kind of stuff, we usually don't care too much about mixing. Let it in. I'm going to go with sap for this one, even though I don't think it is. That's close. This color from Arteza is actually brighter than sap. Sap's more subdued, a little more olive. And then the dark green. Well, that's the only one we've really had a problem with. I'm going to use seaweed just because I like seaweed. Deep green. We'll use deep green because I put my hands on it first. Ooh, boy, is it. Let's thin that out just a little and see. Kind of close to that one. And if you wanted it to be more like that one, you would add yellow, right? This is just a fun comparison, not for anything else. And that I'm going to use Prussian. I love Prussian. That was my favorite in the Crayola box a long time ago. I call it Prison Blue or something like that. Isn't that pretty? Prussian sounds. That's good. All right, where we are, and that's black. I try not to use black, but it's not a never thing in my studio. Because sometimes if you take black and mix it with yellow ochre and white, you get a beautiful dingy teal color. Not teal, sage green. And I guess I went right over black. Talking. You could be looking right at it. Nope. Nope. I think that's the last one. It is. Okay. We know it's not in the reds or the roses. And I don't know where black is. So, for all intents and purposes, you know I don't like to quit. Damn it. No black. Oh, wait a minute. Do we have black? We may not have black in Arteza. We do. yellows. Here it is. I'll get this tray. Noir. We're watching a cool video on Netflix, or series, called Jessica Jones. And it's taken based on a Marvel comic, but there's no cartoons in it. And the girl is the heroine. Not that kind of heroine, the leader of the thing. And they played that black noir music from the 30s, when they had the black and white videos and the mysteries and all that. That kind of music it's come from. All right, I did it. I did it. Durham. Nobody's lurking today. All right. Now, my assessment, which is worth about the paper it's written on. I think the Arteza is a little bit more opaque. And that could be because I wondered if it was a little thicker coming out of the tube. But I see a lot more black lines hinting through there, which, I mean, come on, guys. It doesn't make it right or wrong. It just something to know. So that's Arteza. I need to put that at the top of the page. Yay, Arteza! You won. Okay. Okay. Now put that book down. It's not totally dry yet. I'm going to put this up right now. Trying to keep my desk a little bit neater. Oops, sitting it down in the lid probably wasn't a good idea. There we go. I won't do that again. These have a special spot. Can't put that up because, oh crap, because the sewing machine's down there. I did a video for the little so-and-so, that little kids type machine. I've had it 5 years. It's, I think they cost $25 or something. And I had big ideas that it was just going to sit right here real nice when I wanted to sew paper. All right, now what are we going to do? Let me see if I can find some kind of a picture quick. Go away. Go away. Do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do. And that would be in ideas for paintings. Let's see. Everybody knows that they like, that's a little bit. I took a lot of pictures at Sam's Club with the fruit in the sacks, because under the lights, the sacks crinkle and show. Oh, that wasn't a good one. Show white spots. That's what you're looking for, or what I'm looking for. I don't get that many outside. Here's a nice one. Okay. Go back. Wait a minute. Nope. 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 I'll know what I'm looking for when I see it. And that wouldn't be too bad. This, look at that. How nice. This hibiscus we had growing in our garden in the front, and they were this big. They were stunning. So let's do that. Let's see. Wait a minute. Let's make sure we've got the right colors. I think we do. I think we do. See what time it is. All right, I have an hour. Might need to brush. Put that right there where y'all can see it. And more water. And this. And I'm going to use the palette. I just love this palette. Let's see. I'll put some white. Make it thicker. I'm going to start with, let's see how you want it to be. Excuse me. Measure it from the picture and measure it on your paper. So about 3 times will do it. So about like that, and then 3 times. 1, 2, 3. So that means the top of ours will be right about in here. And have to use white for that. This is what I call painting commando style. So that center, let's just do it here where you are. 1, 2, 3. The center should be down here. Is that right? Okay, now do it from there. 1, 2, 3. It's about right. I'm painting the shape of this flower or this petal. Check the width. 1, 2, so I need to come out quite a bit more. See how easy that is? 1, 2. Buckle your shoe. Now then. 1, 2, 3. Close. And you don't want plain edges on these flower petals because they're not perfect. Okay, so let's go on. See, that comes down like that. So this one, now I can go, because this is gouache, I can go back in with white and I can either lighten it or put accents. My brush is barely damp. Now where those two petals cross over is more of a red. I think what I'm going to do is fill this in first with the pink, because it's not really changing colors here in the middle. It's just where those two overlap. It's not the best color in the world, but I'm trying to stick with what I got here. Okay, now we've got another in that color. And you can see this line right here where it comes down. I'm just trying to get it blocked in right now, and I can't really see it. This one comes. One, 2, 3. This one comes all the way down. No, you're not supposed to treat your brushes that way. Okay, now we've got, I'm going 1, 2, 3, close. It's not a perfect circle. I'm going to keep going with that color until I get this all blocked in. Then we come down. Slow down. Another reason this kit is going to be fun is because it's all right here in front of you. Okay, now here comes this little. Okay, so flowers you can measure that way. Because flowers are no two are alike. See, that's kind of close. I can bring this one on down. Balance it just a little. Now then, we need some dark. Come on. There, thank you. We have dark right around here. I'm just going to go on down the don't get too worried about details because we're just blocking it in right now. And this dark edge is where the edge of the flower kind of looks like it's crumpled, like it didn't open all the way. You can't really tell what this is in the middle. I'm going to start with this dark red. Don't do details, Vicki. And now the center is a yellowish red. And yes, I'm putting it on there while the red is wet. There's not that much of a color change. Doesn't look like much right now, but it will. And I need a dark red center. The center is up here. Well, that rosy color is rosy, isn't it? I gotta be able to see it too. Let's see. Nope. There. Okay. If I take a little bit of this red and lighten it just a little, and just a little white, I think I can get a better color. No, needs more white. I'm going to do these little spots like that. And they're not totally white, and they're not totally pink. Keep that brush dried. Now the veins I'm going to paint in last. Oh, good. Glad you like it, Joycey. Okay, now I want a little bit more of this. And I got that up too high. Not that it matters. It's been a while since I've just painted. A little bit of that red. A little bit more of that red. Now we need a little bit of red. Right up. First time I worked with gouache, I thought, man, this reminds me of oil painting. And to be quite honest with you, I haven't been able to get those kind of results since. So we have one coming down like that. We have one coming up like that. Veins. Just making a representation. Let's go ahead and do these. I think they're dry enough. Because the sun is back. I don't think so. The sun is, I think, shining from the front, or maybe right up on top. That's probably what it is, because y'all know me. I don't get out of bed till noonish. I'm just going to kind of make me a crumpled edge. These lines along with the white will help make it believable that it's curling away from us. Now, right away, I'm going to come back in. And again, don't be neat. You want jaggedy lines because this is nature. And not as much white over here because the light's not hitting it the same. All right, now I'm putting the bluish red on top of the orange to see if I can get a closer color. So let's go over here and do the same thing while we're there. So this whole area gets and there's something behind it giving it good shadow. See that line right there? What am I doing? I want this. I want that to be pretty dark right here. It's an illusion. Okay, now get that little dark edge on there where that ruffle is. And then we get a ruffle like that. Then we get some dark lines. I need a little bit of water. When your paint stops flowing, it's time to get water. Now these lines continue on into here, but you're just not going to be able to see them. That, and that. And up here we have some of the same stuff going on. This time there's a shadow on that side. And then the veins in the dark. And keeping an eye on the chat. Y'all need to watch my new little so-and-so challenge. I'm working on I got half of the video up last night, but yeah, that also increases the idea that it's these are a little bit too bright. That it's a light behind. It's really more of a straight line. Now, if I come back and decide it needs more of a wash, I can do that. Okay, where are we over here? We're kind of in the orangey side, right down in here. orangey, orangey, orangey. And down here, but I want to tone it down a little bit. Make those little uneven edges by just making funny marks with brush. And there's lots of good stuff down in here. Toning this down too, darkening value just a little bit. And then come back with some. Now, darker red. Little bit of ultramarine. And it could go brownish as well. Dry brushing is good because it just kind of skips over the paper and gives you a texture. Try to brush stroke in the direction that the thing is growing or that the light hits it. And that is way too blue on those top petals. Let's see what kind of a, that might not be bad. They are bluish in the picture, but they're a little bit too obvious. That's better. We don't have to cover it all up, but and it doesn't matter if you go over some lines because they're just there to make you think. And the story for the field notes is going to go something like this. I was in the Amazon River Delta and I came across this gorgeous flower. I'm not sure what the name is, and I will look, but it seems like I've never seen it before. And if that's the case, and I'm the first one that sees it, I can name it after myself. That's just a little taste. I'll darken this white just a little. Come back and put another mellow yellow. Let that dry, and if it needs to darken, I will do that then. And we kind of came out too far on that one, so that's how we do with that. And this one comes up quite a bit more. And I want some light. Nope. I guess I'll go with that light. Oh, I forgot. And then this over here needs a little more light after I covered it up. It should dry down just fine. This was a beautiful color. Kind of tapping it with my fingers to blend it. Mix a little, make that just a hair lighter. Can y'all hear the squeaky toy? That's a little boy getting ready for his walk. It's his little trick. And I managed to monkey around with it enough to give it some form and pull those colors in a little bit. What else do we have to go with it? Just some dark green. That's not what I want. That's more what I want. Kind of put a darker color on one side. And just a little bit of yellow to brighten them up. And I need some more leafices. It's not bad to pull one up over. Okay. There you have it. Let me turn it this way. Not too shabby for, what, 30 minutes? 45 minutes. No, just a little over 30. Now I could keep working on this and working on this and working on this, which I love to do. But I think it shows what kind of flower it is. Its colors are bright and clean. I could have made that green drip a little bit. Bit like that. I'm not totally unhappy with that, so okay. I don't know if paint comes off those mats or not, and I bet it doesn't. Hi, Nancy. Hey, sure. We just finished up. I'll show you what I did. I tested my new Himi gouache set on one side and did as close approximation as I could get to the Arteza gouache. They're very similar. I said when I was doing it, I think the Arteza might be a little bit thinner, maybe more, where this might be thinner. Let's put it that way. It did appear to be just a little more opaque, but other than that, they're very close. And so then I painted this flower. I'm looking at the chat. Yeah, I think they're great. I got them because of the palette. And it is convenient to have this many colors that aren't convenience. They're close to, alizarin crimson, cadmium red. So you don't get a lot of sky blue and goldenrod yellow and that sort of thing, which makes them easier to mix. So you can just dab in a little bit of color and take off. That's what I was doing up here. So see if I wanted to gray down that pink right here, I could add that green to it. And you get a beautiful grayed pink. And you can do all that with this set. You can do all that with the Arteza too, except it's not as convenient. You'd have to squeeze out more colors on a plate or something like that. Not half bad. I think I will take a picture of that. What did I do with my phone? Oh, never hurts to take a picture. There. If y'all got any questions, when you store them, Himi, cover them with plastic. Yeah, I don't like dry gouache. It's just a personal preference. Does the lid with the seal around the edges not strong enough to keep them wet? But I will take your advice because I've got some right down here. cling wrap. It's not strong enough. Thanks for the tip. I imagine I'll be back in these the next few days. I've been missing painting. Now, traditionally, gouache was used for illustration, which meant that you would just have flat color. You would have flat pink, and you'd have a flat full color. They didn't shade that much. Here we go. Because Azure said, and I trust Azure. There we are, in a Ziploc. I will do that. Yeah, I want them wet right then when I want them wet. And that I saved these up here on plates. This is gouache, but I just want to squeeze out fresh. I didn't hold it over far enough, but lost my brush. There it is. See, though, we wet plenty good. Sometimes some colors don't, and yellows are one of the worst. And that's watercolor. I love these saucers. I've got my little triangle one I love. So I keep my eyes peeled. Well, I used to when I could get out. But with Amazon, I don't need a damn thing. So, okay, I'm going to say it again. Y'all get ready. Get ready for the, the Field Notes Concept Journal. There's going to be a story written about it, and I will be narrating it. And I'll be narrating this story and showing you some paintings of Amazon flowers and things like that. And then giving you printables to go with it. So I'm doing all the homework behind the scenes. But if you want to play a journal, mine is yep, it is. I need to get up anyway. Well, where are you? I can't find him. I can't find him. I thought he was down here. Well, you'll see it in the next week or two. I'm going to start it as soon as I get all the background stuff done and get a few videos in the pipeline. Yeah, it's about this guy who travels, and he has a muse that tells him where to go. And his goal is to get to the Amazon to study botany and flowers and stuff like botany is flowers. But look for new worms and new frogs. And on his adventure, this take you to Paris to get to there. And this was mid-1800s, so travel was kind of dicey. And this is all about the journey that he takes to get there. So the painting one week might be something very French, and then a page in the journal will be about that day that he was in Paris. And that's how it's going to work. And every step of the way, every week, there will be a new chapter to the story. So we're going to have some fun. I'd read it to you if I could think quickly. I think I can. Hang on. Hang on. This is stuff that I just love playing with. Creative writing. Oh, wait, it was an email. Okay, you ready? Let me find where it starts. Got to download it. It'll be here in a minute. The flower's not half bad. Has a little bit of form. Not too shabby. Come on. I'll give y'all a head start. So, a painting with a story of where he was that day, the elements that I use on that. I forgot the timing. Some painting and then video of the painting. And then on Tuesdays, I'll do the demo of how I used all the elements to make a field note page. We're going to have slides and we're going to have little vials of stuff like did in the old days. Come on. All right. I'm going to read you chapter 1, or part of it anyway. Chapter 1, the beginning. The story, as I call it now, comes in bits and pieces from anywhere and everywhere. I can't remember the order, but always bless the coming, as it is an epiphany catalyst. Every attempt to organize this story is different in its sameness, and I cannot control it. So the permanent recollection is for you to learn how it speaks to you at the time of reading. For sure, it will change the next time you search for enlightenment. I should introduce myself. Dr. Victoria something something, formerly trained in botany, creative writing, and painting from the University of something something. I am perhaps best known as an explorer of the unknown and the known, the fantasy and the truth. Sometimes all mixed together. Such is the conundrum as I undertake the next journey around the world, or not. My goal for this project is the Brazilian rainforest, where there are so many undiscovered plants, animals, and tribes and rivers to explore. In order to get there, my travels will take me to any country that floats into view. This, like the story, is uncontrollable. I relate things in order or not as the muse strikes. My muse, she, of course she is a she, is a wispy creature, sometimes a blonde and sometimes a redhead. Her hair sometimes floats as a mermaid in the air or as in dreadlocks in the sea. I always attempt a photographic study for future research, but every new study erases the last. Irregardless, I tell her I enjoy her visits. Perhaps Muse needs a name. I'll wait for her to tell me. When I feel Muse coming, I hypnotize myself into a catatonic state, or she does. I don't really know. I'm presented with riddles that take the form of endless paths, sometimes a meditation circle, or at times a Mayan maze. Mayan, I don't know how you say that. I can choose one or none at all. Being a wee bit rusty, I'm going to start cautiously with a bit of watercolor. It flows like my dream state. This is where the story begins. There you go. Da 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 da. Yeah, dreadlocks. That'd be a good one. Or Victoria Dreadlocks. It could be my name. Anyway, it's just something I think is a little bit different, and it will look like the old field notes, the antique ones in museums and stuff. They would have writing that would just follow wherever there was empty space. And what I plan to do is give you the story for that week, like I just read, like a chapter of it, and an old-fashioned typewriter type, and then you can cut it and paste it in if you don't want to do the writing. And then the flower or whatever it is that I that week, and a little piece of a map. So I think it's got lots of possibilities. Well, if nobody has any questions, I will delete myself from this platform. I don't think so, Joycey, because their hair was so fine. Well, actually, it was coarse. Fine hair is what makes a better dreadlock. Anyway, my Japanese doll had coarse hair. I never did put my hands in Randy's mother's hair. But you know what? We could have a Japanese with dreadlocks, because this is the story where we can do anything we want. Right? That's right. You guys too. I'm done for the day, and I enjoyed having you here. And if you missed anything in the beginning, you can go back or not. You're thinking. Joycey is thinking. Thinking. That's scary. Bye, Deborah. Bye, Azure. Bye, Nancy. And I'm going to hang on and see if Joycey has anything of her thinking. Okay. Joycey says bye. Bye-bye. I love you guys.